All right, welcome back, everyone, once again to the Wednesday Night Warriors. I am Romeo Anthony Cologne. This here is Chris G with a co-host of his, Mary Jane. And we are going to go over the June 24th, 2020 editions of Wednesday Night Dynamite and NXT. This is the show where we review both shows. We watch 4 hours of wrestling in just 2 hours, amazingly, and then we come on here and record for almost an hour and tell you what you missed and what to look forward to next week, because this was the go-home show for week 1 of AEW Fyter Fest, and little do we know, it's also a go-home show for something else coming next week, but we'll get into that later. Let's quickly go over last week's ratings. AEW, 772,000 viewers. NXT, 746,000. Both shows up. AEW up almost 100K. NXT up almost 75K. This week was a difference of 26K between both shows. AEW is now up 31-5 in the rating war of the Wednesday Night War. And of course, me and Chris, we had different opinions last week for the first week ever. He picked AEW the better show. I picked NXT the better show. That left it up to you guys, the viewers, in our Tru Heels group page. And you guys agreed with Chris by a total vote count of 17-6 over NXT. So in this Wednesday Night Warriors scoreboard, AEW is up 2-1 over NXT. Thanks to you, the fans. Before we get into tonight's festivities, let me just remind you to please like this video. It really helps out the channel. It helps out the group. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like we say, this is not easy work. Watching both shows. And yeah, there's a lot going on. It's hectic. Starting off with the AEW intro, I noticed I don't see Jimmy Havoc or Sammy Guevara there anymore. Anything happened to those two? Over on NXT, we start with Cameron Grimes in the parking lot. He tells the cameraman, "Hey, you better check out Priest. He's a little sore." Apparently a sneak attack on Damian Priest in the parking lot. Soon after, Cameron Grimes is in the ring. He's laughing. He accuses Damian Priest of slashing his own tire. Claims he wrestled Finn Balor with a broken jaw. He did not. Eventually, the man that Mauro Ranallo calls the Puerto Rican powerhouse, Damian Priest. He makes his way to the ring. He's all fucked up from the sneak attack. This match ends pretty quickly. Grimes wins with the cave-in. Priest toughed it out with the injury. Just wasn't in good enough shape. Cameron Grimes, for me, is becoming must-see on NXT.
He's taken me by surprise as a character. I knew he could work from his time in TNA/Impact, but I'm really digging this Red Dead Redemption Reject type shit that he got going on. Shout out to Mauro for shouting out the Puerto Ricans. I need to have a bottle of liquor next week so we could take a shot for that. And why would somebody slash their own tires other than insurance purposes? Which I don't even think you could insure tires. It is what it is.
Over on Dynamite, we're starting off with a huge Lumberjack match. Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. This match is highlighted by Wardlow throwing that child, Marco Stunt, from the stage to the Lumberjacks. Luchasaurus does a shooting star press into the Lumberjacks. At the end, MJF gets on the apron. He gets speared by Jungle Boy into the Lumberjacks. The Lumberjacks are taking a beating. Wardlow wins with a low blow behind the referee's back, and a F10 for the win. Huge brawl after. Too many brawls in AEW, but at least this one makes sense considering everyone was already out there anyways.
Yeah, for AEW, we're definitely going to have to start like a brawl counter, because there's at least one every week. But this one did make sense. First, before he killed Marco Stunt, that poor soul, he killed Brandon Cutler. So it's nice to see him just kill random people and throw them off the stage. Good way to get cheap heat on Wardlow, and Luchasaurus with the shooting star press made me say, how the fuck? So it's always a good thing.
Over on NXT, Robert Stone gets dumped in the trash again by Ria Ripley after asking her to reconsider now that Illya has joined up with him. Robert Stone's feeling like hot shit, but he gets trashed. Illya comes in, slaps Ria for that, and the match is set up for them later on in the evening. We should also start getting dumped in the trash counter between both shows.
My man Robert Stone at it again, looking like shit, feeling like shit. I think he's missing a loafer.
2-time winner of Jabroni of the Night on our Wednesday Night Warrior show.
Man, keep fucking around. It might be 3.
Timothy Thatcher is still stretching dudes into submission. Pause. We see Techniques by Taz, studying how awesome Brian Cage is, the way he moves in the ring. This was very, very nerdy and almost counterproductive. If Jon Moxley is on his couch watching this, it's an easy, free scouting report for him. Am I bugging out?
Well, I think it was more of them warning Moxley of what Brian Cage can do, rather than Moxley scouting.
The body slam onto the windshield wasn't enough for it.
And the fucking 4 veins popping out of his forehead and the pupils. I don't know.
Santos Escobar, the Cruiserweight Champion, versus Jake Atlas. Escobar wins. Nothing more than that.
That was the first time I really seen Jake Atlas. So it was, he's physical. He can move.
Over on AEW, the Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida versus Red Velvet. Penelope Ford is in the crowd talking trash. She slaps Shida. Shida wins very quickly and then takes the fight back onto the outside to Ford.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was her name, Red Velvet. I was ready to call her like Julie Jabroni or some shit.
Much better.
They didn't even give her a name. Oh yeah, I like that one better, way better than Red Velvet. Disgrace to the cake.
Cody and Jake Hager press conference is up next. Very nicely set up, looking like an actual press conference. But Hager's absent. Cody talks up Ricky Starks last week, living the American dream. Eventually, Hager shows up with his wife, I believe, or is it his girlfriend? Wife, I guess it's wife. Yeah, okay. Cody and Hager, they pose for pics. Hager puts his fist in Cody's face, which Cody does not appreciate, and eventually his girl pours water in Cody's face.
I like it. It did give it that real like press conference feel. Like it felt like an actual boxing or MMA fight. And I like how Arn Anderson started it off talking that shit, about how classless Jake Hager basically is. He's a chicken shit, something along those lines. And then Cody brings the heat about the American dream, still believing in the American dream and trying to bring hope. And he even calls out the title. We know the championship isn't finished, and that's not its motto. Well, the motto that it's supposed to be when it was supposed to debut on TV. So it was just, it was really good shit. And then Jake Hager just doing his part perfect.
Undisputed therapy once again. This time Roderick Strong realizes that Kyle O'Reilly was his therapist. And they eventually get Strong in the trunk. Oh. But then they tell him he's facing Dexter Lumis tonight. And Strong does not look happy about that.
Yeah. They took a step forward. I guess we're going to see if they take another one later.
Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela versus Brody Lee and Colt Cabana. Cabana with a separate entrance from Lee. I think that should be noted. How Brody Lee has fallen. Remember when this man was in a good world title match versus Jon Moxley? Lee with the discus lariat. And he lets Cabana get the pin so he can remember what winning felt like.
It was a decent match, but it's furthered the story. It advanced the story of Colt trying to, getting recruited by the Dark Order. So I'm still interested in it. It's good to see Colt in something weird other than some comedic shit.
I could care less about Colt. I'm more concerned about Brody Lee and the effect on Brody Lee. After the match, Lance Archer comes down and beats up Janela and Kiss.
He killed him.
Oh, yeah.
He ate a chair. Like, literally. The shit hit him right in the mouth. He bit it.
Malcolm Bivens on NXT is pissed off to the highest level of pisstivity. Actual quote from him. Raquel and Dakota Kai versus Casey Cantazaro and Caden. I forgot what the fuck is her other name. Caden Carter? Something like that. Yeah. Dakota wins it. Throws a warning after to Io that it's not her NXT. And for anyone out there who was thinking Io Shirai was going to take on Sasha Banks or Bayley, me and Chris, we told you so. It's not happening.
Absolutely not. I want to ask you a question. Who's taller? Without Googling, without fact checking, who's taller? Marco Stunt or Casey Catanzaro?
Has to be Casey. Has to be. Casey's a grown woman. Marco Stunt is a little boy. Has to be.
We're gonna come back with the results. I'm gonna say Marco's taller by a half of inch.
Wow.
Half of inch. Marco's taller.
Tag team action on AEW. FTR versus all of a sudden SC Boo, as I call them, but SCU, as Chris may call them. Kaz and Daniels. This was originally supposed to be against the Natural Nightmares, but QT Marshall had been in contact with someone who has COVID, so he could not attend tonight's festivities. Jim Ross says something along the lines of, nobody has handled this pandemic better than AEW. I'm paraphrasing there. FTR wins with the Shatter Machine, which is now known as the Goodnight Express, not to be confused with the Midnight Express, or the Strowman Express, or the Lex Express. The Goodnight Express. I like that name. I like it. After the match, Butcher and Blade threaten to destroy FTR's ride. And all of a sudden, Pentagon and Phoenix, the Lucha Bros, appear behind FTR in the ring. Butcher or Blade, I don't know which one it was, he issues a challenge for 8-man at Fyter Fest. FTR teaming with the Young Bucks against those four. Welcome back, Phoenix, recovered from injury. Although I didn't like they showed the Lucha Bros too quickly before they made their challenge for Fyter Fest. It was like a premature ejaculation.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
I thought this was a good match, though.
Yeah, it was a good match. It got that old school feel. I like the story they told about the experience between the two teams, and as good in his experience that FTR are, the FCU are even more experienced because they've been tagging together and just wrestling, individually for even longer. So it was a very solid match. I don't know what the fuck the Butcher and the Blade are wearing still. They look like a shitty Grease parody. They look like they're in the East Side Story. No, it's the Lucha Bros. It was
Welcome
good
back.
to see them. Yes, because
best.
I love them. Yes, I kind of forgot about them, to be honest, because they've been gone for so long. So, and it's good to see, like, you're starting to see the international talent start to roll in a little by little. So that means shit is starting to get back to normal in the wrestling world. Hopefully, everything, all the international stars could come back sooner or later.
Karrion Kross versus Bronson Reed over on NXT, which means we get to see the greatest must-see entrance on not just Wednesday nights, but pretty much any night in wrestling, in my opinion. And Karrion Kross also has a custom nameplate now. Whenever you get one of those, that's a good sign. Good sign. Thick boy Bronson Reed gets in some offense, way more than Ciampa did at In Your House.
Yeah. What the fuck? I thought I was bugging too.
Speaking of Ciampa, I do miss him. I don't know if he's on vacation or I have no plans. I hope Ciampa comes back soon. I don't like the way they just discarded him after that's such a brutal loss.
Yeah, I miss Ciampa too. I think they tried just giving him time to rest, and you're taking it easy with him because of all the neck surgeries already. So he's probably on a limited basis, and we don't even know about it. So, I mean, as long as he's healthy and he still keeps coming back, he'll be fine.
Cross wins with the cross jacket. Gets Thick boy to tap out. Then we have Rhea Ripley versus Illya. This match ends with Robert Stone throwing a shoe at Ria. Well, thankfully it wasn't vomit this week. Illya almost gets the roll up, but she's put away with the riptide. I thought for a second they were going to have Ria Ripley lose by a roll up to Illya, and I was about to hold a funeral for Ria Ripley tonight. Thankfully, Ria wins.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing, but once she countered, hey, we knew it was a wrap. I told you Robert Stone's fucking shoeless. I thought I smoked too much. I was like, this fucking guy's missing a shoe. He threw it at Rhea, man. What a scumbag. That's a felony in some states.
Jon Moxley also came into contact with someone who has COVID, so he stayed home. Not in the building. Brian Cage destroys a jabroni. Very beautiful squash. After the match, Taz clowns Moxley for claiming he's a tough guy, but where is he? He's not there tonight. He's got some bullshit excuse. Taz is not afraid of COVID. I bet Taz doesn't even wear a mask outside, I assure you. I love this Taz promo. What a heel dick move to get on someone for not coming to the building because he didn't want to risk the chance of infecting anyone. Bullshit excuse.
Well, he is from Red Hook, and the water around there is kind of contaminated, so that's why Taz is probably immune, and he's not afraid of the COVID. But it was ideal. Taz brings that heat, he brings the intensity, and you got Brian Cage in the fucking back, and him just looking at you, and his eyes are super intense. It just goes together so good.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, me too.
But I know it's leading to a L.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll get into those predictions.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong versus Dexter Lumis. Roderick Strong, very hesitant. Eventually, he just leaves and says, fuck it. He has not yet embraced his fear of Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis chokes Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish escapes. I'm getting boogeyman vibes now from Dexter Lumis, who was my MVP a couple of weeks ago. But now his creepiness is it feels like Vince McMahon is in control of his character now.
Well, I don't think Vince is in control, but I think, sometimes more is less. Or wait, no. It's the other way around. Come on, Mary, work with me. It's less is more. Less is more.
Oh man, first I had SP3 with the fool me once, fool me twice, and now I got you with the less is more. This is great.
I'm telling you, we're pot heels, man. We can't remember everything.
Next week it'll be Dexter Lumis versus Roderick Strong in the first ever NXT strap match. Brody Lee challenges SCU, the whole trinity of SCU. It's going to be him, a member of the Dark Order, and Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana doesn't seem too sure about it.
Well, it's going to make for an interesting match because we're going to see how Colt reacts in the match.
And then they announced the card for Fyter Fest, both Night 1 and Night 2. What? So weird. A full card announcement? WWE would never do this. Night 1. You know what? Let's do the predictions right now just for Night 1. Let's get them out of the way. 5 matches on Night 1. I'll start with Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow. I did not see which two members of Jurassic Express, but I'm gonna guess it's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and they're not gonna risk putting that little boy, the smaller boy, not Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt. They're not gonna risk putting him into this match. I'm gonna go with MJF and Wardlow for the win.
Well, considering that Wardlow got the win today, I'm going to go with Jungle Express. Getting the dub back. Wardlow eats the pin to keep MJF strong.
Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz.
Whew. This is a tough one. I am going to say Santana and Ortiz.
I'm going Private Party. Sheeta versus Penelope Ford for the Women's Championship.
Come on.
Oh, maybe you got an upset. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm going Sheeta. Cody versus Hager for the television championship. I'm going to go with Cody.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cody, too.
The Tag Team Championship. Omega and Page versus Best Friends. I am going to go Omega Page.
You know what? I'm going to go with them, too.
Night 2 of Fyter Fest. We'll get into predictions next week, but I will tell you what the card is. It's Joey Janela versus Lance Archer. Nyla Rose will, I guess, just be there in attendance. SCU versus Dark Order and Cabana, if he commits. Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. A huge 8-man tag that we talked about earlier. Young Bucks FTR versus Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Bros. And the main event, Mox versus Cage. AEW, more AEW. Britt Baker delivers a note to Tony Schiavone. Well, it's directed to Big Swole. It says, I might have been in the trash for 9 hours, but you're still the biggest piece of trash on the roster. Eventually, Big Swole makes her way to Britt Baker and dumps more garbage over her as Rebel tries to attack Swole with a leaf blower, I guess. I don't know.
That's what it looked like.
Santana versus Broken Matt Hardy. Broken Matt Hardy won a poll on Twitter, I think. So he's the Matt Hardy version that we get. And Santana versus Matt Hardy. This is two Puerto Ricans going at it. We got like 3 Puerto Ricans tonight.
It's perfect that you say that because I wrote down in my notes, Matt Hardy looks like he drinks Medalla Lights, does push-ups, and eats alcapurrias. All from Rebby. Rebby put him on.
We love you, Rebby. Matt wins. It looked like he tweaked something too. He was moving around a bit slow in the second half of the match, but still finished strong. Ortiz helps to beat down Matt Hardy after. Private Party come out. They run off. Ortiz and Santana, excuse me. And NXT, our main event, Gargano versus Keithley versus Finn Balor for the NXT North American Championship. Winner goes on to face Adam Cole in 2 weeks for all of it. Winner take all. They do a repeat of the spot where Lee rises up in the background of a nice shot of Finn Balor. Nice callback. Lee eventually with the Big Bang Catastrophe on Gargano. Balor tries to do the coup de grace on Lee. Lee rolls out of the way. Another Big Bang Catastrophe on Finn Balor for the win. Finn Balor takes the pin. And then after that, the show ends with a face-off with Adam Cole and Keith Lee setting up their match in 2 weeks. What did you think of this match? Did the right person win? And what do you like Finn Balor eating the pin here?
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I thought if Lee was going to win, he was going to pin Gargano. So, I mean, I don't really think it matters at this point. Finn is Finn, you know. But
I personally would have liked to have keep Balor strong. Gargano's already lost to Keith Lee. Another pin to him wouldn't have hurt him.
Yeah, you're right. But, I mean, it's WWE.
And it might be Vince McMahon for all we know.
They're going to treat Finn like Finn, unfortunately. But I thought the match was good. It was a little slow for me. I thought it was going to be a little bit more fast-paced just because of who was involved. But it was a good match. And the right guy won. Can't wait to see the match between him and Adam Cole.
We have a Orange Cassidy, Chris Jericho face-off. Jericho complains of Orange Cassidy's style, his name. He wonders why he was even signed. He says the people like him because they can relate to him because they're lazy and a slacker as well. He warns Orange Cassidy if he tries that bullshit, kick him in the shin offense, that he will knock his teeth down his throat. And he ends it by saying Jericho's going to make sure Orange runs out of juice. He was really proud of that. Really proud of that joke. Orange puts the mic down and very disrespectfully kicks Jericho's shins anyways. Sick fuck with that dastardly offense. Jericho breaks Orange's glasses. They fight all around Daly's place. Orange gets his ear busted open. I don't know if he had a cauliflower ear or what, but it looked ugly. Blood and guts. Ugh.
Ugh.
Superman punched Jericho into a table, and that is how AEW ends. Wow, what a promo by Jericho, I thought.
Yeah, it was a good promo because if you listen to his podcast, kind of that is true in real life. Like when he first signed to AEW and he was like, who the fuck is this Orange Cassidy guy? And he was like, I don't get it at first. And now he gets it. So, just when you know shit like that, it just really brings the realism to the story. And this is the second week that they busted fucking OC's eardrum. So I don't know what's up with his ear, but that shit is always bleeding and he might have to get that checked out. But it was a good.
I don't know.
Nice.
You've heard of cauliflower ear?
Yeah, that's when you got the build up and shit. But I don't know.
Did OC have that? Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, I never seen it on him, so that's why it's just weird that he's always bleeding from the ear.
One last note: NXT is bringing back the Great American Bash, and you have got to either admire or hate that level of pettiness. Dusty Rhodes' Great American Bash going up head-to-head against Week 1 of Fyter Fest.
Yeah, that was a fucking curveball. But, like, what does that even mean, man?
I mean, we'll get some nice little cute graphics next week on NXT, I guess.
My God, if they have a fucking food fight, somebody gets hit with a hot dog or a burger, I'm turning the shit off and I'm watching AEW only. And you could work on the NXT part. Because fuck that.
Here's my question. If you're going to do that, first of all, you got to do it weeks in advance, not the week before. And second of all, why wouldn't you do it the week that has the huge match? July 8th. I don't know.
Well, I guess they already have the ratings kind of like, we already advertised this big match for 2 weeks. So we countered night 2, but with night 1, we need to counter it with Great American Bash. Which, two thumbs up for effort, guys, but still looking forward to fucking Fyter Fest.
Yes. Match of the night. I am going to go with the NXT main event, Keithley, Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor. And you, sir?
I'm going to go with the Lumberjack match. Yeah, I like the carnage.
MVP of the night, as I said earlier, he's becoming the must-see character for me on Wednesday nights. It's Cameron Grimes. What about you?
I'm going to go with Keithley for getting a NXT championship match in 2 weeks and possibly becoming the double champ.
Jabroni of the night. I'm starting to see what you've been saying for weeks now. I like that Robert Stone is doing something, but he just had a awful, horrendous night, dumped in the trash, and his client lost their match, and Rhea Ripley's tearing him a new asshole. Jabroni of the night, Robert Stone for me. Is this going to be a trifecta from you? Who's your Jabroni of the night?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with Robert Stone. I mean, there's no other choice. Nobody else has embarrassed himself or made a fool of themselves or acted more jabroni-like than this man right here. He threw his fucking loafer. We'll see what happens next week. Hopefully he doesn't make it a quadruple.
Rating prediction for next week. I am done picking NXT. I'm done.
Great American, fuck out of here. I am watching Fyter Fest night 1. They are taking next week's ratings.
Yeah. Show of the night. Who did you think had the better show?
Gotta go with AEW once again.
For me, this was very close. AEW had 3 things I really liked: the Taz promo, the Jericho promo, and the FTR match. NXT had Grimes, Cross, and the main event. Also 3 things. Everything else for me tonight was just kind of meh. I thought this was actually one of the weaker nights of the Wednesday Night Warriors so far. If I was giving thumbs up or thumbs down, I'd give them both thumbs downs. But of the 6 things that I liked tonight, NXT had the top 2 things I liked. So I'm going to say NXT was the better show of the night, which means that once again, it is up to you, the viewers, to decide which was better, NXT or AEW.
Come on. Come on.
So that is going to do it for this edition of the Wednesday Night Warriors. Make sure you like this video, comment if you agree with what we said, our MVP, our Jabroni of the Night, our Match of the Night, and of course, Show of the Night. You can vote in the poll on Facebook in the group Tru Heels. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and to see more of our great content on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel.
And you can follow me on Instagram, spic_flair_woo, 3 O's. Facebook, Chris G. I'm not spelling out the rest of the name for you. and I promised myself I was gonna drop joints and jabronis this weekend, and I have literally worked on it this whole week, so I think we should be ready to go.
It was a holiday weekend, man. Very Father's Day. Come on.
Yeah, I had a lot of recovering to do.
And you can follow me at the Pride of NYC on Instagram and Twitter. You can also see new videos of True Rewind, usually every Monday, sometimes on Tuesdays if it's a busy week wrestling-wise. And also right here, Wednesday Night Warriors, where we will see you next week once again for Fyter Fest and the Great American Bash. Wow! You don't want to miss it.